WJZ-TV Baltimore. This is Eyewitness News with Al Sanders. Denise Koch. Weather with Bob Turk. Sports with John Buren.
Good evening. I'm Al Sanders.
And I'm Denise Koch.
Tonight, the news is very painful for us to share with you. Our friend, Jerry Turner, is dead. He died at 7:15 tonight. He was 58. For 25 years, he brought you the news on Channel 13, but numbers don't begin to tell the story of this man. A year ago, Jerry learned he had cancer. He started treatment, but refused to stop doing the job he loved. Whenever his health would allow, he was on the air. Many days he was too ill to go on, but what you couldn't know was that he was in the newsroom writing the news for someone else to read to you. Tonight, our newsroom, our city, have a big empty spot where Jerry used to be.
Just a few months ago, we all helped Jerry celebrate his 25th anniversary at Channel 13. It's not an easy task trying to pack all those memories into just a few moments, but here is some of what we remember of Jerry's career at WJZ.
World leaders and world citizens paid final tributes today to Sir Winston Churchill.
Jerry Turner began his career at WJZ in the summer of 1962. John Kennedy was president then. Only a few folks owned color TVs, and U.S. troops weren't even in Vietnam.
There was a mention that Mr. Gleason would be coming to Baltimore. Have you heard anything more on that?
Yes, we contacted New York.
For 2.5 decades, he brought us the news of politics, protests.
Do you plan to fight that off or any kind of court battle at all?
I certainly do, yes, sir.
And people.
When you come out of here, how long will you have stayed under a shower?
102 hours.
Well, beside getting wrinkled fingers, can we see? Wrinkled fingers and wrinkled feet and wrinkled skin, what other bad effects, if any, have you experienced?
Well, the first night, sleeping was terrible.
Jerry was born in Meridian, Mississippi. He studied music at the University of Southern Mississippi. His love for the trumpet landed him a job touring the country with jazz great Woody Herman.
Well, I had worked with Woody for a while, a very short while, till he discovered that I was sitting back in the trumpet section not playing, and it sounded good, though, you know.
Tired of the road, Jerry returned to Mississippi in 1951. He went to work for a local newspaper, but he also tried his hand as a radio DJ. Then he met his wife, Jean McIntyre. But television would be his life, and after a stint as a reporter in Richmond, Jerry came to Baltimore.
Well, I'm writing a very spectacular story here about, well, I tell you, I'd rather not say because I'd rather have you watch the news. The news does go on after a while, and if I tell you what I'm writing now, then you'll know the news, won't you?
For a time, Jerry would work all week here and then fly to New York to anchor the ABC Weekend News.
And that's the world of national news. I'm Jerry Turner, ABC News, New York. Good night, everyone.
In his years with WJZ, Jerry Turner became a legend in television news. Many hours of his personal time were spent giving back to the community that loved him.
Do hereby designate Mr. Jerry Turner, WJZ anchorman, par excellence, as honorary fire chief of the day.
4 months ago, Jerry celebrated his 25th year at WJZ. Viewers and colleagues turned out for the celebration. And now, there's only one way to get to WJZ. It's called Jerry Turner Way.
Jerry is survived by his wife, Jean, and his 2 sons, Jerry Jr. and Mac.
He is also survived, of course, by the rest of us, his TV Hill family. Since we had Jerry all to ourselves for hours more than you saw him on television, our memories perhaps feel a stronger pull tonight. Don Scott brings together several of those memories now.
He simply had something that is rare today: class. Jerry was class.
Everyone who ever saw Jerry Turner on TV knows he could be both a very comfortable communicator and a comic when he had to be. But perhaps only those of us who worked with him in this room know that those qualities were more than just screen deep. And in this room, those qualities served a very special purpose. No matter how crazy and confused the day could get, late in the afternoon, when that man walked around that corner, everybody here said, yeah, now we're going to have some fun. Jerry made us laugh. He kept us sane. And in this business, that's something. And if Jerry had a special friend on the crew, Skip Ball was most likely that friend. He was Jerry's comic relief.
Jerry was always a good laugh. He had a good laugh. He made us laugh, and we made him laugh. And that's kind of a warm thought I will always have of the old pooch. It's that laugh.
Jerry Turner was probably the most consistently nice, pleasant person I've ever known. Good days, bad days, terrible news. Jerry was always even and wonderful.
Wasn't anybody he didn't like. And I think he'd like to be remembered as just one of you.
But Jerry, forgive us for tonight really needing to think of you as one of us, the best of us. Don Scott, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
So many of you have found ways to express your feelings about Jerry, and many of you saying he was a part of your life, because many of you grew up watching Jerry. Last year, when we first learned of his illness, these little children wished him well and expressed what many of you felt.
Ours for responsibility to report what you saw.
He's family. We watch him every night while we eat dinner. He belongs with us.
He was a friend of the city and everyone in it for 25 years, and this summer at his anniversary celebration, thousands of citizens showed up to express their love.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams 25 years ago that you would be here?
I never even thought about it. I'm just a country boy. Listen, good grief. No, I didn't, and I never thought about it, but it's a very nice night. I appreciate it.
That same night, Jerry said the best day of his life was the day he came to Baltimore. Jerry was a newsman, but he was also a music man. He had a degree in music and played a fierce trumpet in his day. In our city, it was the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra that caught his ear, and he dedicated long hours to its cause. During our marathons, he gave of his time and his money, and in a celebrated moment, Jerry even took time out to give of his talent. Jerry traveled with the BSO to London last May. The trip was important to him, and he watched as the orchestra he loved conquered Europe.
This certainly has been a winning tour for you folks, and for us back home. I hope hope the governor gives you a parade.
The world of music has lost a great champion.
Michael Olesker takes a look now at the Jerry Turner in front of the camera and the man behind it.
Al, the irony is we want to say what we know about him, we want to pay tribute, and yet we know that he would have hated the attention. He was not that kind of a guy. Jerry Turner had the smallest ego of anyone I ever knew who had reason to have a giant one. The professionals in this business will tell you he was the top-rated local anchorman in America, and that more people watched him than watched anybody in the history of Baltimore television. And yet none of that ever went to his head. I remember him working outside the old federal courthouse on Calvert Street one afternoon, and up and down the block, cars were backed up while their drivers slowed down and honked their horns and waved to Jerry. One time he went to an angry school board meeting. People were screaming at each other. Suddenly Jerry walks in and everything stopped. People got to their feet and gave him a spontaneous standing ovation. Jerry just blushed and apologized for the intrusion. He was modest, self-effacing, and self-deprecating. The most important thing to him was being a working newsman. Being a celebrity was strictly coincidental. In this newsroom, we'll remember him as a friend. To viewers around town, he had the warmth of a next-door neighbor who just happens to tell you the news every night. And tonight, the news is very bad. And we will miss Jerry Turner, the man who used to bring it to us. I'm Michael Olesker.
Thank you, Michael. Jerry expressed the wish some months ago that He be remembered by the scholarship fund set up in his name. You may send contributions to the Jerry Turner Scholarship Fund, 6 Hamilton Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202.
Right, right. Toyotathon 88 means you can usher in the new year in style. Great trade-ins, on-the-spot financing, immediate delivery. Tricia?
What brought you to Toyotathon today?
To get this.
Extra value package?
I saved hundreds on air, multiplex, cassette.
Right now, make your deal, get your car, and make the new year, but you gotta hurry. I didn't catch that, Tricia.
Happy New Year, Squire.
And a happy new year to everybody. Drive safely and see you in 88.
You know what your TRW credit report says about you? It's vital information every American should have. And you can with TRW Credentials Service. With Credentials, you have constant access to your TRW credit report. You're notified when anyone receives a copy of it for review. And you can apply for credit more easily at many of America's leading banks and stores. TRW Credentials Service. Look for an announcement in your mail or your Sunday paper. It's important.
Tomorrow, the Hub Furniture Centers make this remarkable offer. 0% financing for up to 2 years. No interest charges for up to 24 months when you select home furnishings in the Hub's great New Year's sale. Buy an elegant bedroom, a modern living room, and lovely Chinook cover. Spend $500 and enjoy a year's free financing. $1,500 gets you 18 months free financing. Purchase $2,500 or more and get 0% financing for 2 years. Tomorrow at the Hub. 2 years. 2 years.
Attention. If you're shopping for a new car, this is a very special alert. The Lincoln Mercury Sales Alert. Now, save $1,551 on Mercury Cougar with a popular equipment package and customer cash. Or save $1,460 on Sable with a popular equipment package and customer cash. Your Lincoln Mercury dealers are standing by and ready to deal on their wide selection of 88s, but you'd better hurry. The sales alert ends soon, so be alert.
All of us at Eyewitness News thought very deeply tonight about Jerry Turner's commitment to quality journalism. When the going got rough, Jerry got us going. And in that spirit, we must now bring you some of the other important stories of this very sad day. A domestic argument may have led to a fatal fire tonight in East Baltimore. 2 children are dead and 5 others are injured.
Happy New Year from WJZ.
WJZ-TV Baltimore. This is Eyewitness News with Al Sanders, Denise Koch, Weather with Bob Jerk, Sports with John Buren, Michael Olesker's commentary.
Good evening. I'm Al Sanders.
And I'm Denise Koch.
Tonight, our tribute to the man you invited into your homes for 25 years. The man who told you the news in good times and in bad. Jerry Turner died last night at the age of 58. His year-long battle with cancer ended at Johns Hopkins Hospital. But tonight, we're going to show you the Jerry you and we remember fondly. And above all, we remember Jerry as a family man, a friend, and a colleague.
I was going to be a musician. That's what I always wanted to be, or a doctor, I guess.
It is hard to imagine what things would have been like in Baltimore if Jerry Turner hadn't decided to be a TV news anchor.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight, Mayor Schaefer is drying off from a swim he did not expect to take.
He often joked about getting out of the business, but television would be his life.
I've often thought about getting out of it, but I don't know. I could go into show business and know I do one-liners. Oh, do you? I do one-liners real good.
It was August 1962 when Jerry came to WJZ. People who grew up here say they remember the news of 2 decades from that assured and distinctive voice.
A spokesman for the Baltimore Steamship Trade Association, James Fortune, says his group has come to terms with the striking Baltimore longshoremen.
I'll follow whatever advice my attorney has for me. I just hate to go to the trouble of moving when the final issue's not settled.
light is... A 15-year-old boy has been charged by Baltimore County Police with murdering his mother, father, and sister in his family's Parksville home. The youngster gave himself up to police authorities today.
But it wasn't only the hard news.
When you come out of here, how long will you have stayed under a shower?
102 hours.
This is Jerry Turner on another exciting assignment here at College Park at the Phi Sigma Delta House in the shower.
Jerry was born in Meridian, Mississippi. He studied music at the University of Southern Mississippi. In 1952, he married Jean McIntyre of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Jerry loved Maryland and spent his holidays here in Ocean City.
I like to cook. I very seldom cook down here. I mean, I cook at home sometimes, so when we come down here, we go out.
As much as Jerry loved Maryland, Maryland loved Jerry. On his 25th anniversary at WJZ, fans and friends turned out to say thank you.
And we've been through some very perilous times in 1964 and 1968, as you know. We covered them, at least I did, and those led to better times for all the people of Baltimore.
It's a long way from Meridian, Mississippi to the top of TV Hill. But the only way to get there now is Jerry Turner Way. Funeral services will be held for Jerry Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Towson Presbyterian Church on Chesapeake Avenue.
From Highlandtown to Roland Park, the news of Jerry's death has hit hard. Today, Sandra Pinckney spoke with people in neighborhood after neighborhood, trying to come to grips with the loss of a man they called a friend.
Hello, I'm Al Sanders.
I'm Jerry Turner. Alice Pender Hughes is...
This is the last time viewers saw Jerry on the air, December 11th, a Friday, the 6 o'clock news. Nearly 3 weeks later, Jerry Turner's fight with esophageal cancer ended.
And viewers in neighborhood after neighborhood all across the city reacted in much the same way. The loss of Jerry Turner is like losing a best friend.
Absolutely. So sorry, so sad. He was such a genuinely decent human being. I think everybody, and I've been listening all morning, and people are just crushed.
It was very upsetting to me. I've always enjoyed him. I've been watching him since he's been in Baltimore. And it's really a loss to the city.
In Highlandtown, the reaction was much the same.
He was like a part of the family. We watched him all the time, every evening.
Part of the family for you too, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I thought highly of Jerry. I thought he was a great news commentator, a great humanitarian. It's going to be a big loss to the city, a very big loss.
Feelings for Jerry transcend traditional neighborhood boundaries. On the block, this was the reaction.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear about the man, because I watch him every night.
I've seen him on TV a lot of times, you know, around Baltimore, and the man really cared about our city.
I was very sorry about it, because he's a good newsman and all.
In Roland Park, Richard Sullivan had this thought.
His personality is sort of relaxing nature, and I used to see him at various events, and he was honored and talked about, but he was almost embarrassed by it all.
And finally in Northwood.
I enjoyed watching Jerry Turner and the family on 13. It was always like a big family, and it was fun to watch them. And he will be greatly missed.
We must remember that earth holds no sorrow that heaven cannot cure, and put that in our prayers at night.
Sandra Pinckney, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
Sandra says one other man she spoke with told her the thing he admired most about Jerry was his dedication to the people of Baltimore when he had offers to anchor the news at many other stations around the country. But Jerry paid more than lip service to Baltimore.
Indeed, Bob Turk, who worked with Jerry longer than many of us, shared his enthusiasm for community service.
Thank you, Al. You know, Jerry spent much of his time out and about saying hello and offering help. And over the years, Baltimore said thank you to Jerry time and time again.
Jerry Turner has been a booster of every kind of nonprofit and public service activity in this area, often using his personal popularity to advance many a worthy cause.
It was the day the county fire department read a proclamation making Jerry honorary fire chief. He helped raise money by taking part in this celebrity event.
Do hereby designate Mr. Jerry Turner, WJZ anchorman, par excellence, as honorary fire chief of the day.
Being involved in the community, loving Baltimore, and giving back to Baltimore, that's how Jerry spent his life.
This summer's heat wave has taken a toll on the Red Cross's blood supply. With the Labor Day holiday approaching, they need our help.
Encouraging people to donate blood was one of Jerry's favorite causes. He received a humanitarian award from the Red Cross for his community involvement.
I thank Junior Achievement for this award tonight. In my case, of advancing years is more like senior achievement, but I'll take it. And it's good to be in the Hall of Fame, somebody's Hall of Fame. Frankly, I had always hoped for baseball, but if this is what it's going to be, that's fine too. No, I seriously appreciate it.
He was also honored by Junior Achievement, Save a Heart, the Symphony, YWCA, the Food Committee, United Way. The list of those who benefited from his giving nature is a long one indeed.
Appreciate you agreeing to help out.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always good to take part in a community project. Glad to do it.
Jerry also felt a civic responsibility. That familiar television voice was heard by each and every person ever called to serve on a Maryland jury, explaining how the court system worked.
Oh, no. Jury duty, just what I...
Many citizens who are unaware of the one trial or one day jury system see...
When Jerry first became ill, that community that he so often touched grieved. They reached out to wish him well.
R is for rest, which we hope you'll do so that you'll come back as good as new.
He's been part of our lives for such a long time. He's funny. He makes you cry. He makes you laugh. He's just a wonderful person.
Without a doubt, he'll be remembered for many years to come for his service to the Baltimore and Maryland community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bob. We've received so many thoughtful phone calls from those of you who wish to express your feelings about Jerry. In lieu of flowers, it is the family's wish that contributions be made to the scholarship fund that bears his name. You may send donations to the Jerry Turner Scholarship Fund, 6 East Hamilton Street, Baltimore 21202. Jerry was always ready to go after a story aggressively, but he felt strongly the people he reported about should be treated fairly and with respect. Today, George Bauman talked with many of the people Jerry covered.
Jerry had covered the activities of the mayor who became governor for more than 20 years. So much trust did William Donald Schaefer place in Jerry that he allowed him to show the public his private office and everything in it. Jerry was even allowed to show Schaefer's super private hideaway office. The governor's reaction to Jerry's death was among the first to arrive. He said, "For many of us, Jerry Turner represented Baltimore better than any other individual. He was a caring man who gave of himself in the community tirelessly. He loved Baltimore, and I'm sure I speak for all Marylanders when I say we'll miss Jerry." Former Governor Harry Hughes remembered Jerry mostly for his naturalness.
And I think that was his great appeal to most people, his naturalness. Nothing phony, nothing false. And when he did the little chit-chat on the news program, it came across as being spontaneous, as being real. So much of the time with others it doesn't. I think it was his naturalness that I remember most.
Mayor Kurt Schmoke will remember Jerry for his uplifting comments at the end of his newscasts.
He was with us through tough times and good times, but he always tried to make us feel good at the end of the newscast. And I just think that that's a great contribution. It was a great contribution to the community. He was a tremendous man, and I know that he was a dominant presence in the lives of most of us who grew up with the television era.
I talked to many other notables today, all of whom expressed a strong feeling of loss, not just to themselves, but to the whole community. George Bauman, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
And George says every one of them said that they will miss Jerry's sense of humor.
Jerry loved to laugh. Laughter was a part of every day he spent in this newsroom and every day he entered your living rooms. He had a lighthearted view of life and loved to spread the message.
I'm in charge of decorum here, you know. I mean, not on this program too often, but we do try to run a tight ship.
The tales of more.
Play straightforward. Well, Randy wears contact lenses. I wear a piece, and Bob Turk wears chest hair, you know. So, I mean, it's all tinsel and glitter, folks. I mean, you must know that by now.
Jerry was in charge of decorum, but no one loved to see it fall away better than he did. He made fun of himself, of all of us, and we loved every minute of it.
Show the folks there how good it is, and then we'll all get into it.
Oh, very much. Go right ahead.
Yes.
It's good.
Yummy, right?
Not bad. What's got raisins in it?
We don't know what they are. But
Little things in there.
Right.
We'll find out.
All right, Robert, have a ball there. You got it.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, Bob Turk he will rejoin us. Hopefully, when Eyewitness News returns.
Jerry really let go on Eyewitness News recap. He persuaded me to do sports one night. Let's see. Is there anything else here important?
Yes, that's very important.
Okay. In Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks have fired National Football League head coach Jack Patera and general manager Mr. Thompson. And Mike McCormick moves in as interim coach for the rest of the season. McCormick, a former head coach, you know, Jerry, in Philadelphia and Baltimore, will return to his post as director of football operations next season. I think that's all we have time for. Is that a judgment?
No, it's not a judgment. I thought it was terrific. And I don't know why you couldn't get Thompson's first name when you got Joaquin Andujar.
It was delightfully infectious. Jerry laughed, and we all laughed.
Once upon a time, there were 8 puppies left out in the cold to die. But along came a prince. A prince of a police officer, that is, and tonight, because of his efforts, 8 puppies will live happily ever after. Tonight, 4 of the little fur balls have homes. Oh, my, let's just forget it. They're all happy, and they're doing much better than I am right now. I will need a home to be adopted to soon.
Well, you can see we're overjoyed that the little fur balls have homes. I should enjoy it, that stuff. We'll be back in a moment.
Yes, we will. And in just a moment, this special edition of Eyewitness News will continue.
I remember I was very successful, and I was so successful that when I was over him, that he sold more television sets in the history of the city. Right after I was on, my mother sold hers, my father sold his, my brother sold his, my cousin sold hers.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
All right, you're very welcome.
Legum sales manager is under the gun to move out hundreds of Chevys and Nissans by January 11th. These cars and trucks are costing money, so Legum is forced to blow them out with a $59.95 manager's one-price sale. Chevy Cavaliers, Nissan Sentra, Chevy S10 pickups, Nissan pickups, and more are all $59.95. $59.95 plus factory incentives up to $1,000 can be used for your down payment. Hurry, if the cars aren't gone, he'll be gone at Legum Chevrolet Nissan, Eastern Avenue at Beltway exit 38 West.
The remarkable New Year's financing offer continues this